Hi, my name is Julieta Diaz and I'm a data scientist at TIBCO. Welcome to this Team Studio enablement video. In this video, I'm going to show you a few little tips about how to navigate through this canvas and specifically this workflow. In this side menu here, we've got both the operators and the data toggle. The data shows you the different data sources that you have and the different files within each of those. You can use the search bar to find a specific dataset. For example, let's write iris here. Now we can just drag and drop the file into the canvas. That's actually how I added the iris file that we can see here. The Operators tab has a search bar as well, and it has a drop-down list where you can select more specific types of operators that you might be more interested in, depending on your work. You can, of course, hide this away if that's more useful to you. When you drop in an operator into the workspace, it will immediately appear red, and that means that you need to configure it. You can configure the operator in a few different ways. You can right-click and see Edit Operator Properties. You can also select it and go to the bottom menu where it says Edit Operator, or you can also double-click and it will automatically open up the operator and its configurations. Another thing to note is that any parameters that you will need to configure for the operator to work will appear in yellow, in this sort of highlighted format. You can rename the operator in different ways by selecting the name at the top, and then you will be able to rename it. So, for instance, we can write renamed. You can also get there by selecting this little pencil, or you can do this by just hovering over the name and changing it directly in the canvas. This is sometimes useful because then you can be more specific about what your operator is doing. You can see the results of your operators in the tray at the bottom. If you select this little triangle, you can also hide them away if that's more appropriate. Depending on the operator, you will get different views here. You can actually expand it out further if that's of interest, or into another tab entirely. You can display a grid if that helps you align your operators more systematically. If you like them to be a little bit less erratic, you can remove it, of course. You can copy individual operators simply by selecting them. You can use copy at the bottom, or again through the menu, or just with your keyboard as you normally do. You can also copy multiple operators by selecting them with a lasso, which is just holding down the mouse to select more than one, then copy and paste as before. You can delete from the menu at the bottom, and that will delete all that you have previously selected. You can also just use the backspace. That's also perfectly fine. What is important is to be able to save your work and to look at the different versions of your work and the workflow itself. Every time you change something, clicking Save automatically brings up a little box where you can put in a comment. So, for example, creating video will be the one I will do here. That will be saved. If I wanted to revert back to an older version, I can do that by going to Actions. If you look at Flow History, you'll be able to see the different flow histories. This is one I just created with you. We can replace the current with one of the different versions if that's what's required. You can also export the whole flow into an XML file. This brings me to the end of this video. Thanks for watching.